his debt and his problems. So if you have a problem, he'll try to solve it for you. That's basically what he is. And he's a ladies' man. You'll see him like 24, you'll see him 6 inches deep in like 5 girls at the same time. The women love this guy.
Pardon the interruption, gentlemen.
Mm.
But just want to let it be known that I am broadcasting. So if you don't want anything out there, just don't say anything private. But I like the conversation. Keep it going. Mike's all yours.
I think that's cool, man. Thank you. Because Ballad of Gay Tony, that game was more lighthearted. Lost and Damned was really depressing, and 4 was soul crushing. And
Holy
a lot of people,
fucking
they'll
shit.
tell you they liked Lost. A lot of people didn't like Lost and Damned. I'm not really sure why. I'll have to replay it, and maybe I'll try to see some points. Maybe they thought the story wasn't that good, but I like to say that's why they killed off Johnny in 5, because a lot of people didn't really care for Lost and Damned, but there's a lot of people that like Johnny. I was one of them. When I saw him get his head stomped, and I was like, did they really just kill off a protagonist? But if you think that 4 was boring, you just don't understand the story. And there's like videos explaining it. Why do you think Liberty City is so goddamn gloomy?
Because it's based off of New York.
Well, not just that, because and I just saw this guy. He did a video on Liberty City. He was talking about the Statue of Happiness. Now, if you don't know this, the Statue of Liberty in real life, she points away from New York, and that's to like welcome travelers to New York. And the Statue of Happiness, she has that Hillary Clinton grin on her face, right?
The Statue of
facing
Liberty
towards-
does not point away from New York.
It doesn't.
No.
Does it point to the city, or where does it point to?
She's looking at Manhattan.
Okay.
I've been on the ferry.
Because
One of
if
these
you
days
know-
I need to come up to New York, Jay. I swear.
because
I mean,
if you notice,
just to visit. No,
yeah,
man.
because
Obviously.
Yeah.
the guy, he said that the Statue of Happiness, she looks at the city, and that's kind of like telling people you're stuck here and you can't leave, and that's kind of like Nico. If you try to get if you get on a boat or a helicopter and you get away from the city, the further you go, you'll notice that your health slowly drains, and there's
From
nothing
what?
out there.
Say that again.
If you try to get away from Liberty City, if you get on a boat or a helicopter,
Oh,
and you fly
GTA.
out of there, yeah, and GTA 4, your health slowly drains.
Online? I haven't
No.
noticed that.
No, not online. GTA 4.
The video game itself.
Yeah,
I haven't noticed that.
you have to like drive out there really, really far, and you can keep using cheat codes to increase your health, and it's like slowly over time it drains. But there's nothing out there for you. It's just the abyss, and
Yeah.
you'll die and you'll end up back in Liberty. So it's like telling Nico you can't go out, you can't leave there, you're stuck there. There's actually, and there was a message from his mom. If you go to the Twat Internet Cafe and you check his email, his mom will send him she'll send him emails and stuff.
Right.
And there was a cut email if you choose the ending where Roman dies, and she'll tell him, I heard that Roman died. I want you to get out of that place. It's evil. Don't become a statistic. But you know he can't leave. He's stuck there forever. And then you look at some of the buildings there, it looks like something out of a post-apocalypse movie. Like Escape from New York. Where there's graffiti everywhere, everything is just decaying and ruined. And it's depressing.
Right.
You know, I played that game when I was a little kid, and I'm thinking, I don't ever want to be a criminal. That shit scared me away from being a criminal. All these other games glorify it, but that one legit scared you into thinking it's not worth it.
The criminal life is an interesting one, but sometimes you don't choose the criminal life; it chooses you.
It chooses you, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that's all those other guys. You know, Michael, it shows him his high school football career didn't turn out the way he wanted. He got injured. He got into doing
Michael
bad shit.
DeSanta.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he was basically born into it because his dad was abusive, his mom was abusive,
Yeah.
and that guy always had mental issues. Franklin, I think he was born into the gang lifestyle, and he tried getting out of it. Tommy, he was born into mafia. Tony Cipriani, he was born into the mafia. Victor, I think he's the only guy out of the whole protagonist who I think tried to go straight, and he was forced to become a criminal. He didn't have much of a choice, but he gets out of it by the end. And then you know what happened to him in Vice City. He does that whole deal with the coke, and he dies.
Who?
Victor Vance,
Lance Vance Dance.
that's his brother.
You said Victor Vance.
Yep. Yep.
Victor Vance in Vice City. Who? Why can I not remember him?
He was a black guy with the shirt. He's like, it seems like we have a deal, my friend, and then he gets shot.
Oh, he was at the beginning. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, they did. If you haven't played Vice City Stories, that's centered around him.
Right.
And that takes place like a couple years before Vice City. I don't know about Johnny. He seems to. I think his brother, because I know Johnny Klebitz. He has a brother that was born. No, his brother I think was either a cop or an army sergeant, and he doesn't like that Johnny's an outlaw biker.
Are you talking about the Lost in the Dam?
Yeah. And
Never got to play.
Luis Lopez. That guy, he was. I think everyone in his neighborhood was a drug dealer. He was born in a Dominican neighborhood, and there's boroughs. You have like some Eastern Europeans, and then you have some boroughs that have Dominicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Spanish folk. Like your borough, you grew up in some of those boroughs. Spanish-speaking folk,
Right.
Like, if you think about it, it's a melting pot. New York is just a massive melting pot. You have all these boroughs, and then you have the crime families. You have the Italian mafias.
Right.
You have the Irish mob. You have the Russian mob.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I always paid attention to the story, and I had to put the controller down after, like, I think there's this one mission at the end of the game where Nico confronts the guy who betrayed his unit, and he finds out why he did it. He betrayed them over money. He had, and they were all, kids. I think 12 of them, and only 3 of them survived. One of them is actually living in Liberty City, and he's innocent.
Yeah.
And he killed them all for $1,000, and he's like, I had better friends, I had more powerful friends. He ruined them for $1,000, not that much money.
I mean, it depends which decade.
Yeah, I want to say around. This is the mid to late 90s.
It's all right. It's decent.
Yeah.
$1,000 in the mid to late 90s was pretty good money.
And
$10 in the 90s was fairly decent money in the 90s. Yeah. Fairly decent because if your aunt gave you $10 in the 90s, you could get a lot of shit.
Oh yeah.
Or let's just say you could get a lot of snacks. $10 today.
No, man, I know.
To get snacks.
And I've told this multiple times. If you guys seen, and I seen this on Facebook a couple years ago, maybe. And they were talking about money. Like, if you guys seen Home Alone, that was 1990. And the amount of groceries Kevin bought was around $19, just under 20.
Yeah, I remember.
And then you look it up in, 2023 money or whatever. And it was, it was like 2022 money. It was just over $40. And then 2024 money, it was over 70. Just in 2 years, the price hiked right up. That's crazy. $100 will probably get you 5 items.
Yeah.
If you want groceries for a month, you have to spend at least over $2,000. And you know who has that kind of money? If you're on food stamps, you can use some of that. I never used food stamps personally, so I don't know much about it. I know Angry Grandpa used food stamps, and they told stories. I remember, I think he got into an argument with this cashier at a food stop, and he's like, "What? You're not gonna serve me? Is that because I'm using food stamps?" Because he had that southern accent. I never used food stamps. If we ever got really low on food, we go to the food bank, and we've been there multiple times. As a matter of fact, we'll probably have to go soon, I'd imagine. My mom was going to set up an appointment with them, I want to say back in August, but then we came into a little bit of money. And she sent in a request, I think, for disability money or something. It will give us a few grand, like 5 or 6. It would be enough to pay off. It would be enough to pay off our utilities and our rent and our cable and our landlord, because my sister owes them some money for pot and cigarettes. Yeah. And that's one thing I don't like, is that my sister, if she can't afford, she usually asks my landlord for pot and cigarettes, and she's never able to pay him off. We'd be able to pay off our pharmacy because we owe them a lot of money. I'm positive they're irritated with us. I don't like owing people money. I don't like owing anyone anything. If I owe you something, I want to try to work to get it paid off. The only thing I owe money to is student loans, and that was because I was stupid. Because I wasn't thinking all the way through. Before I went to school, I really should have thought about what I was going to do. And if I can go back, I tell myself, don't go to school for game development, because you're not going to make it through. And I had kind of an idea saying, you're not going to make it a quarter of the way through. They're going to keep holding you back, and then they're going to kick you out, or you're just going to give up and you're going to drop out. Wasn't like that, but I was kind of right. I got like a quarter of the way through, and then they just said, you're out. Well, I'm angry at myself because I should have researched the school. And that's the thing, if you're going to go to college, you got to research it, because a lot of those schools are predatory. They're not going to teach you a goddamn thing, and you'll end up getting kicked out, and you're going to owe a lot of money. Am I worried about the debt? I used to be, and then my mom told me, well, when she passes away, I think I'm getting like 2 pensions, and it's like 30 grand or something, and I think I owe like 11 grand on student loans, so they'll be paid off, but I just hope that's not for a long time. And there's no interest, it's gonna stay 11 grand. But that's really all I owe. But still, if I can go back in time, I just tell myself, try to look up a script writing school, because I remember seeing one, and the term was about 1.5 years. Well, certain subjects I'd rather be taught in person, but I don't think we have any physical script writing schools. And I mean, it's script writing. I'm positive you could just do that online. It's not necessary to do it in physical person, but you know, if you like explain to me, because the teachers didn't really do anything to help me. That's another. Because here's the thing, I did learn a little bit from college. When I did Photoshop, I aced that shit.
Damn.
I got like,
wish you
or
still
not
had it.
aced it, but I got a B in it. I think I got a B plus in that. Storyboarding, and I can't draw for shit, but I aced that. I got like an A or a B in that. So, you know, some of the subjects I did very good in. Game theory, I didn't really understand. It took me a while to understand what that meant. And then when I realized that you just have to write essays, because they didn't really, when they told you about hands-on projects, I'm like, what, so do they want me to get clay and build something? And the teacher explained to me what you had to do, and he's like, my class is he got frustrated with a lot of the students. He's like, my class is very easy. I don't understand how a majority of you guys, how you have to repeat this so many times. It's so easy, and it is. You just need to really understand. And some of the material they give you, they don't really flesh out what you have to do. They don't be very specific. But by the third term, I understood it and I aced it. And then there was game conceptualization, and I was doing very good in that. I think I handed in a couple projects. I did very good, and then they got rid of me. So some parts of those classes I understood very well, and others I didn't understand. But you know, with rigging and lighting and all that, it would take a very long time for me to understand how to do that, and I would need someone to like physically show me what to do, like be in front of the computer, poke the screen, be like, okay, so this is what you have to do. And I know, like, I'm a big boy. I'm not supposed to have my hand held in this shit, but it's almost like training. If you're training someone for a job, you gotta help them. And I'm not gonna learn that shit. I'm not gonna learn that shit online. And I have a disability too. I have a learning disability, so I'm gonna need extra time to learn how to do this. And I tried tutors; they didn't even know what they were doing. So I gave up on the tutors. With script writing, I have no idea. I've never looked at any of the courses. But they teach you how to like properly write a script, how to use certain words, certain way how to build, how to write characters that are likable, and that's something I've wanted to learn for a long time. Because I know I can write a good story. I know I can. I remember I got 2 creativity awards in school because I would write really wacky stories. And I remember I had to write like a 3-page short story, and that motherfucker ended up being 15 pages, and I got, I think, extra credit on it or something. And they said 15 pages wasn't necessary, but I'm happy to see you enjoyed writing this, and it's very good. I mean, I was probably like 8 or 9 or something when I wrote that. I was just a kid. Wasn't the best story, but they got a kick out of it. So I've had a passion for writing since I was a kid, really. I just never delved too much into it, and I never realized how much I liked it until it was too late. And now I'm in debt. I'm too scared to go back to school because I don't want to be in any more debt.
For real.
If I can go back in time, I would tell myself, go into a script writing school, but really pay attention. And I want you to research this shit. Look at reviews. If they say that the school's a scam or whatever, or if you didn't learn anything, or the teachers weren't that good, then skip it and try to find another one. And if school doesn't work out, then just suck it up and get a job. But I'm positive if I found a good script writing school. Well, here's the thing with scripts. It's my intellectual property, and I don't want anyone fucking changing it. I don't want them saying, okay, so we're going to make this character that, and we're going to do that character. I'm like, fuck no, you're not doing that. There's not any amount of negotiation that you can do to make me change my mind otherwise. This is how the character is. Unless it makes sense, then I'll make changes. Like, if a character is going to die at the end of a story and they say, I think that's a bad idea, I think we should keep them alive. Okay, I can write up another story where they're alive. But I'm still keeping this version. I'll copy it and then I'll just have it where they survive. But this copy I'll keep in case they want to revisit this down the road, and they'll be like, hey, how about we do a version where this guy dies? Unless it makes sense, I'm not changing it. Because don't get me wrong, some of these producers know what they're doing. Because there's some Disney cartoons that actually were successful, and I think when I hear about the original version of the cartoon, I'm like, oh, I'm happy they made that change because that doesn't sound interesting at all. And then you have shit like SpongeBob. They wanted that show to be changed so much before it came out. And Steven Hillenburg is like, nope, nope, and nope. SpongeBob stays this. This is what's going to happen. I'll make this change because it makes sense. I'll do this and I'll do that. But he only changed it very little. Because I don't think SpongeBob was supposed to have a job. I think he was just supposed to be a happy chipper sea sponge, and they forced him to get a job. But you know what? It worked. They changed it very little, and look how popular it became. That shit outlasted Arthur, and I can't believe Arthur's done. I grew up watching Arthur, if you guys remember Arthur.
I do.
Everyone knows Arthur.
To be fair, I don't think SpongeBob will ever equate to how important Arthur was to society. In my opinion, I think the Arthur show is levels ahead, and SpongeBob is not even in the conversation at all when
Because
it
here's the
comes.
thing, SpongeBob is just a fun cartoon. Arthur, it taught you shit.
Right,
SpongeBob doesn't really teach you anything. It's just there. Arthur
right.
actually taught you stuff. It was educational. It
It,
taught you stuff.
it's just my opinion, but
No, and I
on,
agree.
on my behalf, I just feel like Arthur's important. SpongeBob was just a cartoon.
Yeah.
To be fair, you know what I mean. If you feel like SpongeBob was better, then that's what you believe. I respect it, but I never really cared, and I still don't care about SpongeBob. I liked SpongeBob a little bit when I was younger, but when it came to Arthur, Arthur changed the planet.
Yeah.
With the message that it had, and that's what I'm trying to say. That's it.
Yeah. And it got discontinued. I'm like, Arthur was one of those shows. It's like The Simpsons or Days of Our Lives. You'd think that show would last forever, or Doctor Who. You'd think those shows would last forever because those shows have been around since like the '60s.
Well, but the thing about Arthur and some of those other shows is that time just kind of passed them by.
Yeah.
In the 90s, you had a lot of television shows that were centered around family. They were very powerful and stuff like that. And they sent a good message. And a lot of people just started dying out. Example, Mr. Rogers' Show. Mr.
Yep.
Rogers' Show was on air for a while, and then it went away. Another show, Joy of Painting with Bob Ross,
Yep.
was on air for many, many years, and then it just went away. And SpongeBob came in at around 99, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And
That's right.
when it came around, it was very popular and vibrant, kind of like a Powerpuff Girls or Courage the Cowardly Dog. It was bright and it stood out, color and whatnot. And with Arthur, it was for like kids like us coming up who was reading a book and watching it on television. Same with the Three Little Bears, if you remember that they had the book and
Same
Goosebumps and
thing
shit like
goes.
that.
Yeah.
That was all in school, schoolistic, whatever. So I think that they really got rid of Arthur. I could be wrong. I think it was just more like just time
See,
passed
your
by. They
mic's
just
kind of getting
oh,
all
hold up.
scratchy.
Can y'all hear
Yeah.
me now?
Static. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think time passed it by, man. Time passed it by. They moved on. SpongeBob was just coming up, and they just ran with the ball. A lot
Well,
of
the
people
thing
like
is,
SpongeBob.
yep.
You know what I mean? A lot of people. And
Yeah,
when
because
they put that agenda on it, uh, you know, I guess more people liked it. You know what I mean? So
here's
it,
the
it
thing. Oh,
oh no, go ahead. I'm done. I'm listening to
because
you.
sorry to interrupt. Because here's the thing. I like SpongeBob. I used to like SpongeBob, but I only like the older seasons.
Right.
And because I have no idea when it started to go bad. A lot of people will tell you before the movie came out, it was good, or it was only good during the first season. After that, it was bad. And a lot of people will be like, no, it started to go bad after the first movie. And I'm
Okay.
like, I don't know, because I have to binge watch it.
Okay.
And in my opinion, I'll tell you when I think it started to go bad, because I remember watching an episode about a year ago of my sister, and it was so different from the one I grew up with. If it was just random, they had
Yeah.
it where Mr. Krabs and Old Man Jenkins, they got into a fight about respecting their elders, and they brought their grandfathers out,
Right.
and their grandfathers and their grandfathers and their grandfathers and their grandfathers, and it was just a mess. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? You
Right.
guys ruined it. And I want to say when Steven Hillenburg kicked the bucket, that's when it went downhill.
Right.
I could be wrong. I have to watch it. I have to binge watch it.
Right.
And the second I notice any fall in quality, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so I think this is around the time it started going bad, but that's just my opinion. If you guys have any other opinion, you'll say, yeah, okay, but I think, personally, I think this is when it started to go downhill.
Right.
Like Family Guy. A lot of people, I think, will say
You
season
you
9,
you beat me.
around there.
You beat me. I was just gonna go to that
Yeah.
topic. I was just gonna ask you right now. I was waiting for you to be done. So, how do you feel about your chicken getting killed, man?
I was wondering where the fuck he was because I've been waiting for a chicken fight for years. Because that's that was one of the only things about Family Guy that I really liked. And then I saw the news, Ernie the chicken passed away, and
Right.
I thought I should really I should really talk about this. I might, if it's on a podcast or if I have to make a Facebook post about it, rest in peace, Ernie. I'm
Right.
not exactly why they killed him off. Maybe his voice actor passed away. Because if his voice actor quit, then that's no reason to kill him off.
Right.
When Adam West passed away, he was a mayor in the show. I think they held a funeral for him in the show and they moved on.
Right.
I think that's what they did.
I remember that.
So maybe his voice actor passed away. I'm not sure. But I think you guys could have gotten at least one chicken fight out of him because you did a chicken fight with Donald Trump. You did a chicken fight with Homer Simpson. And in my opinion, they fail in comparison to the last few chicken fights that he had with the legitimate giant chicken.
Right.
They fought on a freaking rocket ship. He got impaled up the ass by one of those steel beams. He got roasted by the rocket, and then it turned out he was still alive. They did a cliffhanger and they never followed up on it. So if someone asks, when's the next chicken fight? I'm like, oh no, that's it. He died many, 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 many years later. They never followed up on it. That's the last chicken fight you'll ever see.
I'm gonna give you this on Family Guy. So when I was a kid, I grew up watching The Simpsons,
Yeah.
and then after The Simpsons came Futurama. And I remember when they was running the commercials on television, hyping that, oh, there's this new show coming out starting soon called Futurama, and I think it was by the creators of The Simpsons or whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I gave it a chance, and I like Futurama, and I still like Futurama today. I walked away from The Simpsons as I got older. I think I watched The Simpsons for a few years, and then I kind of just grew out of it. The same with the Pokemon. I did the same thing with them. So when Family Guy came out, and all respects to American Dad, and everything else that is symbolic or similar, parallels Simpsons, like I don't know, Cliff or whatever it's called. The dad from Family Guy, the other one. What is it? No. The Black Family. Cleveland.
Yeah,
I like
they made a Cleveland show.
Cleveland show is another show that I like. I will give that show respect. But going back to the topic with Family Guy, Simpsons to me has gone on for many, many years, and it's either still going on or they closed out. I don't know.
No, it's still going on.
Okay, so Simpsons is still going on. Futurama, I don't know, but it lasted for a long time. Other shows, I don't know.
They
Okay,
brought it back a year ago.
the other shows, I don't know, but they've been around for a bit. But when it comes to Family Guy, bro, I think I only cared about Family Guy for a few episodes. I'm not gonna lie to you, and then I just moved on, and it did nothing else for me, in my honest opinion. There's people that love Family Guy. They watch it. They still enjoy it. They respect it. You know what I mean? They love the shit out of Family Guy. I don't care about Family Guy at all anymore. I like Family Guy. I like Family Guy for a little bit, and my point is just that it seems to me that I don't know how many people watch Family Guy, so I can't speak on something and say like, oh, Family Guy is just like people stop watching. I can't say that because I don't know if that's true. You know what I mean?
There's still people that watch it. Because here's the thing.
But the thing is, we don't know if a huge amount of those people have stopped watching and don't care about it or moved on from it. You know what I mean? I moved on from it, speaking for myself, and in my own opinion, one person speaking, I don't speak for no one else. Um, I just felt like the show had become desperate because people like me just didn't give a shit about it no more, you know. And it got to the point where they went, okay, well, we got to kill the fucking dog because we
Yeah.
have, we have to get attention back. And I feel like they're doing it again with the chicken because Simpsons been around for so many fucking years. They didn't felt like they had to kill anybody, you
Yeah.
know. And I'm not saying they didn't kill anybody off the Simpsons. I'm saying that I don't remember them killing a lot of people on Simpsons. They didn't go, oh, we have to fucking murder Bart Simpson. No, the show would just go on. You know, I think it just recently that they killed off March or something like that, you know? But with Family Guy, it's like they feel justified, compelled to have to kill their characters, almost like, yo, like, look, you got to watch the show because we just killed this character. And I just think that is just real cheap. Sorry for cutting y'all off, but I just want to get my
Oh
point out
no,
there.
and I
Go ahead.
agree because that's one thing I've wanted to come up on because I want a lot of people will probably tell you season 9 is when the show went downhill,
For
and
Family
I don't
Guy.
know when Seth MacFarlane stopped writing the show, but he hasn't written an episode for Family Guy or American Dad in a long time.
Okay.
And I'd like to say that after he stopped writing, and I don't even think he cares about Family Guy or American Dad. He'll probably not say any positive thing about it. He'll just say I'm there for the paycheck and that's it.
Right.
He made Ted. He made a TV show Ted that's a prequel to the movie, and it's actually very good. As far as I'm concerned, he's still writing for that show. But when he stops writing for that show's going to go downhill.
Right.
And I agree with you. And here's the thing: when they killed off Brian, I never really cared because Brian, to me, Brian back in the early seasons was cool. He seemed like the only level-headed guy out of the whole family. Because no one cared about Meg. Chris was a loser. Peter was fucking stupid and always getting drunk. Lois was Lois. Stewie was evil, and then they turned him gay. Um,
Oh boy.
um, yeah, and Brian seemed like the only level one out of
I
the whole.
mean, let's just be honest, Mark. You know, Colin's not full of shit what he's saying. Let's just be
No,
honest. Go ahead, Colin.
and I remember, I'm like, what? When did Stewie become this? I remember he
Right.
was always trying to kill Lois or whatever, and then
Right.
Quagmire was always trying to get with her.
Right.
And then as they
Which is
developed the
fucking
series
weird,
further,
but you know.
yeah, Quagmire's a fucking weirdo. I don't really like him, but Herbert the Pervert's he's worse, and I can't believe they held him on the show for a few years. I think they got rid of him. I hope they did, but um, Brian, he's just a piece of shit. He thinks he's better than everyone. He doesn't like anyone else's opinion except his own. He thinks your opinion doesn't fucking matter. His is the only thing that matters. Um, he thinks he's a great writer when actually mediocre. And I could probably if I had the training, I could probably write a better fucking script than he can. Here's the thing: I don't give a fuck about awards. Sam Jackson, you want to know why he makes movies? He makes movies that he wants to see. He doesn't give a shit about Academy or Grammys or Golden
Yeah.
Globes. He just wants to make movies that he wants to see, and that's me. I want to make movies and shows that I want to see. Fuck
Yes.
everyone else. This is what I want to do. I want to make movies that I want to see.
Yeah. And the industry, people in the industry would tell you that that's not the way to think. That's not how you make money and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I think that I'm someone that I've had conversation with y'all often that you know we could be so much more higher with JTV if I was just fake and gave YouTube and everybody what they want and just gave them the cheap stuff. We would get so much more views and subscribers. And my thing is, I'm kind of like you. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I want to put out wrestling shows that I think are important to the industry,
Yeah.
shows that are going to change it, bring it back to what it used to be, but are a positive entry into the future, if that makes sense. Same with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shows not just that I want to see, but shows, like I said, that I feel are a good entry into what we're trying to do. And I think that we need to stop being so afraid and so greedy, and we need to just try to revert back to what was never broken in the first place that worked.
Yeah.
Okay? That's
And you
just
got
my
to think
opinion.
to yourself, and you got to think to
Absolutely.
yourself, what changed? I always think to
It's
myself,
just a different generation, different
yeah,
generation. Let me give you an example, and this will hit you guys a certain way, but it's true. So earlier, I was watching a 6ix9ine video. I'm from New York.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I like to watch people fight and shit. So when I'm watching the 6ix9ine video, I had seen that I had knew about it for a while. A lot of people have seen that it's an old video, but I just went back and I started thinking about it. And he was in one of the bathrooms at Platinum Fitness and he got jumped. You guys probably heard of it or seen it.
I don't
So
think so.
he's getting jumped in the fucking bathroom. And when he's getting jumped, I don't know, you got maybe five, six, seven guys in the bathroom who are jumping him. And one of them is like, yo, bro. He's recording. He's like, yo, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. While he's bleeding out his fucking nose, he looks at this dude in the camera. He's like, yeah, I know, but y'all fucking jumping me, man. He's like, I'm not jumping you. I'm not jumping you. I'm a fan, though, man. I'm a fan. And as he's walking out of the bathroom, you know, and he's got his colored hair and all this shit, rainbow hair, whatever. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, grown ass men don't act that way. Grown ass men are not going to be in the bathroom jumping a fucking rapper, whoever the fuck, and just handling like that. You know what I mean? There would be an argument, discussion, a grown man fight, but jumping him in the fucking bathroom and then him acting fucking just like a pussy about it after, you know what I mean? And just everything else that went on with it. Grown men don't act like that in the men's bathroom. You know what I mean? And that's an example going back to what I said of you have a different generation now. You know what I mean? You take wrestling, right? Professional wrestling. When I was watching wrestling, I looked for the men on there that were trying to do business. Scott Steiner, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Diamond Dallas Page, you know, you name it. Sting, Ric Flair, guys like that. Grown ass men that are trying to make an impact and do business. Now the industry is not looking for guys like that. The industry is full of the youth. So they're looking for kids. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, you know what I mean? Some of the younger guys at NXT who, you know, stuff like that that goes on. I had one guy that pissed me off earlier because, you know, they were making fun of Hardcore Holly, which really got me fucking hot. And, well, they were arguing, Mark. They were arguing and saying that nobody cared about Hardcore Holly, nobody cares about him, and stuff like that, you know, but they'll mark out for the Shield. You'll mark out for the Shield, but you don't care about Hardcore.
The skin mans are
You know
here.
what I mean? You don't care about Hardcore Holly. So, you know, I just think to myself, like, bro, like, you know, when I was growing up, I was taught to have respect for the legends. You know what I mean? And anybody who really knows wrestling knows Bob Holly was an asset to the hardcore division in the 90s and 2000s. Okay? And someone who doesn't know, who's a fucking idiot who, you know, catches goosebumps when they hear Seth Rollins theme play or something like that, or Kevin Owens comes out or something, you know, they don't know any better, gonna just fucking, you know, hate on them. Or don't know anything about him or Crash Holly. And it's just like, that's the reason why when it comes to picture and film, going back to what Colin said, it's just a different generation, bro. You know, these kids are not going to the movie theaters to watch Chuck Norris go to Vietnam. They're just not doing it. It's not happening anymore. You know, now they want to watch either some fucking Fruity Pebble shit. They want to watch action. They want to watch maybe a superhero movie. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, I don't know what they want to watch. I don't know because the taste changes so much from what I see that I don't know what they want to go watch. But maybe comedy, I guess. I don't know. But it's just not there no more, Colin.
Yeah.
It's just not there. The Quentin Tarantino, Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, what's this dude? You know, all these Steven Seagal can eat a fucking Frank till his jaw breaks. You know, but everybody else that I mentioned and stuff like that, it's just not there. It's not there anymore. This is just and this is a scary thing that I've been trying to point out to y'all, that we're living in a different time. We're not going to the future. We're living in it. It's not coming. It's here right now. This is the future. That's why you're seeing AI and everything taking off, and you see things
we
as
don't have
different.
flying cars or hoverboards.
Not yet. Not yet.
We do have hoverboards.
Yeah,
There are
not in
hoverboards,
America.
but that's just not going to be here for a bit.
If you want to go to 2047, go to Japan. All right, Nick.
Yeah.
Go to Japan, and you'll be in the future. It exists. All that stuff it exists in Japan, but it doesn't exist in our country. Which, I mean, there's benefits of going to Japan and disadvantages, but it is what it is. But going back to what Colin is saying is just like it's a different time, man. You know what I mean? It's a different time, man, and we have to normalize um, promoting what is actually positive and good, and we have to make fun of and debunk what is cancer. That's the reason I, as a grown ass man, make fun of Triple H because that's what I should be doing. That's what should be popular. Making fun of him should be the popular thing. And you can argue with me if you like Triple H. I used to like Triple H. But I feel that the popular thing is to make fun of him, give him respect for his legacy and what the positive things he's done for the industry. But the cool thing should be to make fun of him, and that's just not how it's looked at. They look at him like he's a great man, like he's doing great things for them, done great things, and that's not far from the truth. Neither, I'm not going to lie. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of damage that was done, and a lot of these kids don't know that because they started watching wrestling in 2020. So, how are you going to argue with that? You can't. Yeah, it is the problem. It's part of the problem.
Yeah.
You
They
know?
don't know about RVD. They don't know about.
They just laugh at him.
They don't know about Booker T. They
They make fun of him,
the
bro.
Mark Henry dance.
They make fun of him. They make fun of all of it. They just make fun of him. There's no respect.
And a lot of people will be like, if you're making fun of something, you're not respecting it. Dude, look at some of these meme videos people do on the Spider-Man trilogy or Jaws, and they're not disrespecting it. They're actually making it more relevant.
I think there's levels to it, Colin.
Yeah.
I think there's levels to it. There's a positive side of it, and there's a bad side of it. Memes and stuff like that, to a certain degree, is understandable. But considering yourself a professional wrestling fan and making fun of someone like Bob Holly, who is a fucking badass, no matter how you view him for how he treated people, I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm not going to act like I don't know about his dirt. I know about Bob Holly's dirt, some of it, but I'm not going to hold that against him. In wrestling, you have to be tough. That's just what it is. Look at in JTV. I don't treat you guys a soft way. I don't massage you guys and put baby lotion on you. I tell you it's tough. You get in fucking trouble, you pay the price. And it don't matter who you are, whether it's Dan, Shendon, Dallas Goldman, Mark Bannon, whoever the fuck, it don't matter who it is. Even I pay the price if I messed up. Even I pay the price. Okay? When I done went and messed up the tag team match that y'all had, who was it? Dan with three-way deadlocking them. I paid the price for that. And I didn't say a fucking word because the audio was messed up. That was my fault. That's on me. You know what I mean? Now, respectfully, nobody will never know that I actually edited that correctly and spent a lot of time editing the show completely. I don't know what happened there. The audio, I guess, skipped, but it was edited. It was edited and it was viewed. I had a lot of time to view the show and the audio was fine. Didn't see nothing like that. I don't know what happened. But I still am responsible for the fact that it aired the way it did, and I accept that. That's on me. That's punishment on myself. Okay, so wrestling is about being tough. It's about being tough. It's not about this soft entitlement bullshit,
Yeah, well, you
So-
got to think also how they used to train, like Jacqueline.
Yeah,
She never trained with any of the women. She trained with men.
with the men, and they
then
were
you
very
have people
racist
like-
with her. They were racist,
Yeah.
and you had to keep going, even they were racist
Yeah.
with you.
Then, you think about Fabulous Moolah, and those women were pimped out. And
Yeah.
they were treated like shit. They were beaten up. They were pimped out.
Right.
They were not allowed to drink, not allowed to fucking do anything. And any money they made wrestling, it went straight to Moolah. They never got a dime of it.
And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people will look at Moolah and say, "Oh, she's a legend," not knowing what she did. Same with Pat Patterson. I hate people that when they glorify Pat Patterson or support him. It's just like, if you're a wrestling fan, why aren't you watching these documentaries, doing your research? You know what I mean? I don't know everything about wrestling. You guys don't know everything about wrestling, but we fucking know a lot because we were fans, and a lot of people who are speaking out or standing up for a lot of these people really don't know shit. They go off of what they're told. Or Pat Patterson is the first Intercontinental Champion. He's a legend. Fabulous Moolah held the Women's Championship for 8 years, 10 years, whatever. She's a legend.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you don't tell them what she was doing behind the scenes. I was openly talking about Vince McMahon shit for years, and nobody listened to me until it went public. I've been talking about all that shit.
If you think about it, the guy wasn't even trying to hide it. If you look at all those segments and then you watch his documentary, he wasn't even trying to hide it.
Oh no, he
I
was trying to
remember
hide
they
it.
asked him,
Yeah,
they
he
asked
tried.
him, and they asked him, in the documentary, what do you think about, what do you want to do right now, or what do you think about? And then he's like, something funny, and I want sex, or something like that.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking that's kind of weird.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
who says that in an interview?
Yeah, I mean,
Like he wasn't even trying to hide it,
Vince
and he
got
got
fucking
he got away
balls.
with it for a long time.
Vince got balls, and that's what I always respect about that dude. That he's got a lot of balls to this day, but Vince McMahon really is a fucking coward. And Vince was trying to do his very best in the '90s to hide it. He didn't give a shit, but he tried to hide as much as he could. Anytime Vince McMahon went on Donahue, may he rest in peace, and did shit publicly, it was different in the '90s. You know what I'm saying? In the '90s, if you got accused of something, you felt justified to
Very
go
fair.
to go on. I mean, he comes in here don't talk anyway, so it don't even matter. So you felt justified to go on Maury or something and talk about what allegations they have on you. You know what I mean? Now it's not handled that way. You know, you're not going to go public. Back then it was a little different. That's why Vince chose to go on Donahue with all these accusations and everything that went on with Bruno San Martino and everybody there. You know what I mean? Once you spend enough time realizing that it was publicity that was not needed, they stopped doing it. Because after that time period, it was never done again. With the exceptions to the Chris Benoit stuff like that, where you kind of had no choice. You didn't see Vince do that no more. You didn't see a lot of these people do that no more. Pete Diddy didn't go on air and talk about shit. You know what I mean? The only one that was forced to do shit like that was R. Kelly some time back. You know, but you don't see it too often no more. So it's just one of those things where with Vince McMahon, Vince did everything to try to hide it. It's just Vince got balls and he's arrogant. You know what I mean? You done had a shit ton of people that fucking died, and Vince McMahon was still being arrogant about it, talking about I don't take no responsibility and none of that. You
Yeah,
know, which it wasn't
look at
all.
Chris, look at
It
all that.
wasn't completely his fault. But you just mentioned Owen Hart.
Yeah,
Owen Hart interview. This dude was mad arrogant in that fucking interview. Talking about, oh, I resent your tone, lady. Bro, he's dead because of you. It's called you sit there, you shut the fuck up, and you take the heat. That's it. You don't get to go, oh, I resent your tone. You're responsible for the death of Owen Hart. It's on you. Talking about that you went up and you tested it one time only. What? You're putting a human being in the air with an outfit that's rubbery, that could tear, that could rip, you know, and not taking proper precaution. You know, who cares that WCW did it a million fucking times with Sting? Right. I don't know that. Maybe that is true what you're saying. I don't know if it was because these are two different companies. Okay. Well, I don't know, but his attitude towards it was very selfish when they interview him and he's like, "Oh, lady, I resent your tone." You don't get to resent nobody's tone when you fucked up, man. It don't matter who came out with it. Vince's company. It was his company at the time. You're responsible for what we're doing on TV. You know what I mean? You put Owen Hart in the fucking air. You don't take proper precautions. You know, could it have been something to do with Brett? I don't know. Maybe one day we'll know, but I don't know. I have no idea. I've heard him say that. I put it on Vince. I put it completely on Vince. I understand it was an accident. I believe Vince didn't mean it, um, but I put it on Vince McMahon, not Russo. Russo may have come up with the idea, but it's up. It's at the end of the day, it's up to Vince McMahon. Like I caught some heat not too long ago with someone here in our community. There was a creative segment that was done, and someone wasn't happy with how it went. Now, the segment was put together not by me; it was put together by someone else. I took heat for it like a man and apologized to the other individual when the individual who made the segment didn't really apologize. It was just kind of more blaming it on me, which was interesting. No names, no names. And the person that wasn't happy with how it went, I apologized to. And even though it wasn't my segment, I still produced it. I still aired it. I still co signed on it. So I blame myself. Understand? I put it on myself. I put the entire heat on myself for the segment airing. And when you're responsible for the house and you're in charge, it's on you. Whatever's going out is on you. It's on Vince McMahon for what happened to Owen Hart. That's it. It was Vince McMahon's fault, and Vince McMahon has to answer for it someday. Someday he'll have to answer for it. Straight up.
And it reminds me of that Alec Baldwin incident when he, like, it was
With
an
the
accident when he killed the guy, but he still didn't
when he
take
shot him,
responsibility.
something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I
and
remember. I
he's
remember.
like, it's not my fault. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, but you're still kind of responsible for him dying, and he like refused to take any
yeah.
accountability for what
He was
happened, and I
arrogant
lost
about it.
respect for him after that.
Christopher Reeves. What happened with Christopher Reeves? You talking about his accident? What happened to Reeves? 'Cause I forgot. He had like an accident where he was like he couldn't move or something, right?
I think he was horseback riding, and I can't exactly remember, but I think he broke his neck horseback riding, and he ended up in a chair. I don't know if he got bucked off and he landed the wrong way. I honestly can't remember, but I think it had something to do with the horse. He was horseback riding. I could be wrong. You'll have to look it up.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember he had an accident and he became disabled.
Yeah.
And I remember he went on for quite some time, got sick, and he passed away. And he is, there's no discussion about this. He's the greatest Superman there ever was, that ever will be.
Of course.
Respectfully, I have not watched the new Superman. I think it looks garbage. I don't plan to watch it. I hear it's good from some people, but I don't know if that's true. You saw, oh, Mark liked it. That's one person I heard of. He liked it. Okay. Casting? Okay. So you like the new Superman? Why? I think Calvin, whatever his name is, I think it's Calvin Harris or something. He
Henry Cavill, man.
yeah, him that dude did a good job as the new Superman. I can't I'm not convinced by this new Superman. He looks like a fucking wimp. Okay, so
Or David Cordsweat or whatever.
go
Is the new Superman, I think.
go ahead, Mark. Uh-huh. I don't know. I think he, yeah, I don't know. I can't see him as Superman, Mark. I could see him as like an actor in a movie or something, but I just can't see him as Clark or Superman. I just don't see it. He doesn't have the look, and I'm someone that when it comes to picking characters like that, the look is important. The look is very, very important. And the last actor that plays Superman has the look, the voice, the ability. He had it all. that was convincing. This dude is just not convincing to me. I don't even know who plays Lois in that movie, bro. I will say that the trailer looked good. I thought the trailer was really, really good, but I'm not gonna watch that movie. I can't convince myself that that's Superman, bro. I would take that '90s Superman TV show more serious than I'll take this movie, Mark. And I'll tell you that straight up.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you can't compare nothing to the animated series. But in terms of the film and picture, I can't take that dude serious. I'm glad you liked the movie, Mark, but I can't do it. No, I mean, if you liked it, you liked it, you know. But I'm just not gonna even give it a chance. I think Patterson did a good job with Batman. It's just taking too long to get the movie out. Who, Val Kilmer? In The Dark Knight.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he just got voted as the best Batman.
Yep.
I've talked to people who said that he played a good Bruce Wayne and terrible Batman. I think he did.
Because of the voice. Because I'm not wearing hockey pads.
In my opinion, I think he killed it on both. 10 out of 10, in my opinion. I think he did fantastic. I think for the people that are saying that it's negative with the voice, I think the voice is what made him iconic, Batman, with the raspy voice. Rachel. That to me is what made him iconic, in my own opinion. I don't know. I think that's what made it work. If he didn't have the voice, I think it would have flopped, to be honest.
Yeah.
If he didn't have that raspy voice. So I think the voice delivered. Is he the greatest Batman? I mean,
He's up there, but I gotta say that has to go to Michael.
yeah, I mean, it's always going to be Michael Keaton. I can't say one specific actor is the greatest Batman because everyone that played Batman I liked. Everybody. From Patterson to Val Kilmer, even George Clooney, who got heat, I felt he did a good job. I liked him as Batman when I was a kid. Adam West is the GOAT. That's not even arguable.
Yeah.
You know, with him and Christian Bale, and who was the other one? Fucking no. Val Kilmer did great, but yo, this is my dude, and I can't even fucking remember his name. Not Ben Affleck. No. 90s. How the fuck I'm forgetting my dude's name?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, bro. Yeah,
Bro,
so
we just said his name.
yeah, but I just forgot. Cause we're talking. I'm thinking too fast, and we're talking too fast. But the thing about it is that all those guys are goats, but there's some of them that you can't walk in the room and say their name because they'll laugh at you. If you say George Clooney, one of the greatest Batman ever, a lot of people are gonna laugh at you. I disagree with that. I think he did a fantastic job, in my opinion. Just like Val Kilmer did a fantastic job. I think everybody did a great job. I haven't seen anyone who has flopped Batman yet in film. Not even Ben Affleck. In my opinion, Ben Affleck killed it. He did a great job. I find it hard to believe that that there's people on this planet that can't go, yo, that scene with him where Alfred is like, yo, they're on the third floor, but what if I dropped you off on the second floor? And then he just comes up Arkham style. I don't know how, you know, I feel like that scene is underrated. That one piece is underrated for the fucking film. And I feel like everybody that's done Batman has done a great job. And that's my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, there's people who disagree. They think Clooney was garbage. They didn't like Ben Affleck for whatever fucking reason, you know. They're trying to get I forget his name too, but he's the guy from Reacher, the big guy.
Don't think I've seen that one.
There's a show called Reacher, and there's this muscular guy who has been around for quite a few years, great actor, and I've seen not the show, but I've seen a lot of segments from the show to where I know it's a good show because I find myself watching a lot of them. and they're trying to see if they maybe get him to play Batman next. I think he would be great. If you don't know him, I recommend look into him. But if it's not going to be Patterson, there's no reason we should be going after nobody else. Patterson is going to be in Batman 2. They're talking about putting different villains in Batman 2, which I don't understand why we didn't do that with Batman 1. Because I didn't feel. No, I mean I like Batman 1. I like their first Batman, but I just want to put Penguin and Riddler in them. I would have probably went for like Hush or,
Yeah,
or or Firefly or somebody.
because
You know,
we've had Ra's al Ghul, we've had Joker multiple times, we've had Penguin, we've had
right,
Riddler, we've had Mister Freeze, Bane,
right,
Two Face, Poison Ivy,
right,
Catwoman multiple times.
exactly,
Where's Clayface or Man Bat or Killer Moth or Killer Croc?
exactly,
Where are all those
exactly.
guys?
It writes itself, man. It's money on the table. You just got to pick it up. That's it. You just got to pick it up. And it's like they're scared. Fucking people in Hollywood get fucking terrified to like try it. Like, let me tell you that because they know they'll make money, they would rather fucking put Joker as the main villain to Batman 2 than to fucking go, hey, let's try Solomon Grundy. Let's
Yep.
have Solomon Grundy be the face, the top villain of the film, and let's do this and that. You know, if you notice, they tried with the Arkham shit. Arkham Origins. They was like, yo, yeah, because Hush, because it takes place, it's like a prequel, and they got Black Mass, taking over, and he's gonna be the guy and all this other stuff. But then as soon as he's the guy, they take the carpet sweep. Oh, it was Joker all along. Again. And I was just like, that's cool. And if you notice, even in what was the other one? Arkham Knight, I think it was. Even in Arkham Knight, well, I think it was Arkham City. You correct me, Mark. They couldn't let Joker go, and it was just like his spirit following you around everywhere. Arkham Knight, which it was a hallucination, but he's still there. What I mean? The spotlight is still there going to him, and I liked it. I'm not saying I didn't. I think it was great. It was fantastic. I'm glad it's in the game, but it just keeps poking at it. You know what I mean? Instead of leaving them alone, they could have rested on one game and focused on the others. And that's all I'm saying. Going back to y'all, that's all I'm saying. I thought they were. I thought that we was going to be in an environment where it takes you a long time to even put the mask on because that's what the story was looking like. It was. It was looking like you was just going to be yourself. You was going to be figuring shit out, and that you probably wasn't going to be Batman until halfway through the game. That's what it felt like to me. And it was just going to be the early days of the mob, and that's not really what it turned into. It was the same thing. So I don't know. I don't know. I like all of them. I like all those games. I just think that we got to take a risk. We got to stop being scared. You feel better, Dan? Okay. This game's alright. I'm gonna close it here and go.
And it come, it's almost kind of like Spider-Man. A lot of people tell you, Tobey Maguire was the best Spider-Man. And they'll tell you that Tom Holland and a lot of people hated Andrew Garfield. I always liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I thought he did an excellent job. And even though Amazing Spider-Man 2, I don't think it was that good, but I was excited to see what they were going to do with the third one, and then they canceled it. I'm like, oh, man. They teased the Sinister Six at and during the credits. Yeah, I agree. He was cringe as Peter Parker. He was not a good Peter Parker at all, but he was an excellent Spider-Man.
That that's y'all's opinion. I think every Spider-Man has been fine.